Imagine looking right at your helpless, newborn baby. Then picture opening your mouth to shield it from danger. But instead, you realize you just swallowed it alive for a quick snack. That is the dark reality of underwater parenting. Out here, the deep blue sea is not a peaceful sanctuary. It is a cold, calculated arena where love is a true luxury. Most people assume fish are just mindless, glassy-eyed creatures. They think a mother drops her eggs and swims away without a single care. But that common assumption is completely wrong. Right now, a devoted father is glued tightly to a freezing rock. He will willingly starve his own body for 2 agonizing months. This dedicated guardian will fight off snapping crabs until his heart completely gives out. Yet right next to these heroic protectors live absolute nightmares. Some fathers will stare right at their healthy, beautiful babies, and then they systematically chew them up for an easy energy boost. Worse than that, an innocent mother is swimming through the reef right now. She is proudly guarding what she thinks are her precious children, but she has no clue a tiny serial killer is hiding inside her own jaw. A parasitic monster is actively eating her real babies alive from the inside out. Why does nature allow such horrific cruelty to happen in the deep? To find the ocean's greatest parents, we must travel to the murky Amazon. Here, the majestic discus fish completely redefines what it means to care for newborns. Most fish abandon their eggs, leaving their young to starve in the currents. But a discus mother and father choose a path of extreme physical torment. They do not hunt for food once their tiny eggs hatch into helpless wigglers. Instead, they transform their entire bodies into a living, swimming buffet. A massive hormonal spike called prolactin surges through their systems. This chemical switch triggers a bizarre cellular change in their skin. Because of that, the glands swell drastically to secrete a thick, nutrient-rich gel. This slime contains identical growth hormones and proteins found in mammalian milk. So, for up to 4 exhausting weeks, the newborn babies swarm the parent's sides. They bite aggressively at the flesh to tear away chunks of this thick slime. When one parent becomes completely exhausted and raw, they flick their fins. This physical signal tells their partner to swim close so the babies can swap bodies. But this beautiful devotion carries a terrifying, lethal cost. If the fry are left with the parents for too long, they will not stop. They will literally bite deep, bleeding pits straight into the parent's muscles. Dangerous bacterial infections target these open wounds, which frequently turns fatal for the adults. These parents are quite literally letting their children eat them alive just to survive. But for every selfless saint in the river, there is a cold-blooded betrayer. Enter the sand goby, a small fish that plays a truly horrific numbers game. At first glance, the male sand goby looks like an outstanding, highly responsible protector. He builds a home beneath empty seashells and guards the eggs of multiple females. But beneath this protective facade lies a calculated, murderous biological override. If the water conditions take a turn for the worse, his brain instantly flips. Low oxygen levels cause a dangerous buildup of waste in the nest. This environmental stress floods the father's tiny body with a hormone called cortisol. High cortisol immediately shuts down his testosterone, removing his urge to guard the nest. Once that hormonal shield drops, his protective drive turns into a predatory hunger. The dedicated father instantly transforms into a hyper-focused, lethal hunter. He uses specialized sensory taste receptors to analyze his own nest. If he senses weak or slow-hatching eggs, he will execute the entire clutch. But if his hunger peaks, he does something even more deeply disturbing. He will intentionally target, chew up, and swallow his largest, healthiest babies first. From a strict survival perspective, this terrible behavior is perfectly logical. The biggest eggs provide the absolute highest energy return for his spent stamina. By recycling the proteins of his own children, he recovers his wasted strength. Then, he quickly clears out the nest, preparing his body to breed with a new female. For the sand goby, individual babies are not family. They are just emergency fueled. To see the star of our show, we must dive deep into the coral reefs. Here lives the male Yellowhead Jawfish, the ultimate high-stakes mouth brooder. This father takes a massive cluster of up to 400 translucent eggs, and he stuffs the entire ball directly inside his throat pouch. For nearly a week, this father's mouth becomes a literal living prison. During this entire brooding period, he cannot swallow a single bite of food. His throat expands massively, giving him a deeply stressed, bulging chin look. To keep his babies alive, he must perform a terrifying mechanical dance called churning. He ducks into his sand burrow and spits the whole ball of eggs out. Before they can drift away, he quickly vacuums them back in to rotate them. This ensures every single egg gets fresh water so the babies do not suffocate. His body has even evolved specialized gills so he can breathe around the eggs. If a scuba diver gets too close, the father clamps his jaws tightly shut. He will literally risk suffocation just to make sure his eggs are not lost. But this beautiful devotion can instantly turn into a dark tragedy. Jawfish fathers possess a built-in physical paternity test. If he suspects a rival male snuck into his nest during the spawning cycle, his brain reacts. It immediately triggers a ruthless, protective biological override. He will stop churning, close his throat, and deliberately swallow his own babies. Now, prepare yourselves for the absolute peak of underwater terror. Deep inside Lake Tanganyika lives the ultimate master of evolutionary identity theft. The Cuckoo Catfish has engineered a parenting strategy that is pure psychological horror. This parasitic freshwater fish actively hunts for innocent, mouth-brooding cichlid mothers. When a cichlid mother lays her eggs and turns to scoop them into her mouth, it attacks. The Cuckoo Catfish darts in with lightning speed to disrupt the spawning site. In a split second, the catfish devours several of the cichlid's real eggs. Then, it drops its own fertilized eggs directly into the empty spaces. The confused cichlid mother swims back and accidentally scoops up the catfish eggs. She treats them with the exact same tender care as her own children. But chemical cues in the host's nest trigger a rapid biological timer. The parasitic catfish embryos possess a highly aggressive embryological development. They hatch inside their adoptive mother's mouth cavity in just 3 short days. That is days before the cichlid's own natural embryos are scheduled to wake up. What happens next is a literal execution inside a dark oral prison. The newborn catfish babies immediately turn around and begin eating the defenseless eggs. They systematically devour the mother's real children alive from the inside out. By the time the mother finally opens her mouth, only the murderous imposters swim free. But cichlid mothers are fighting back in a high-stakes evolutionary arms race. Older, experienced cichlid mothers can detect the foreign invaders by color or weight. When they catch them, they will selectively chew up and swallow the catfish embryos. To see the final extreme contrast of the ocean, look at 2 opposite strategies. First, look at the freezing, violent, rocky tidal zones, where the lumpsucker breeds. After the female lays a massive clutch of sticky eggs, she immediately abandons them, but the father takes over, using a highly specialized suction cup right on his belly. This powerful suction disc is made of modified pelvic fins designed to resist drag. He clamps his body down and glues himself permanently to a nearby rock. For 8 grueling weeks, through crashing waves and roaring tides, he never leaves. He aggressively attacks invading crabs and constantly fans the eggs so they breathe. By the end, the exhausted, starving father releases his grip and sinks into the deep. But on the exact opposite side of the spectrum lies the bizarre ocean sunfish. The sunfish female possesses hyper-developed ovaries that hold up to 300 million eggs. During spawning, she drops this astronomical cloud directly into open ocean currents. The male sails past, releases his sperm to fertilize them, and they swim away. Their parental duty to their babies is exactly 0%. They leave 300 million microscopic larvae entirely at the mercy of ocean predators. The individual offspring survival rate here is less than a fraction of a percent. It is the ultimate quantity strategy, where parents choose math over a shred of care. Whether a parent gives total devotion or zero effort, it is all about survival. In the ocean, a parent's legacy is measured strictly by the continuation of their line. Some fish bleed for their young, while others recycle them to fight another day. It is a beautiful, terrifying world where nature always balances the biological scales. If you want to see more mind-blowing secrets of the deep, subscribe now. Join the Fish Fanatic community today, and let's explore the deep blue sea together. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next underwater adventure.